I'm just now picking up the camera and I'm gonna do my best to try to give you guys an update about what's happened today. Today was quite possibly one of the craziest days of my life. I didn't vlog this last night, but I started having a lot of back pain, started having what felt kind of like back contractions. Started getting a little bit nervous because I know that the baby is not exactly in the best position. Luckily today I had an appointment with my midwife for acupuncture, and luckily my midwife is also located in my gynecologist office. And so I came in this morning, and luckily my appointment was early in the morning. I came in this morning, went to my midwife, told her that I was having these what felt like contractions. They hooked me up to a machine, to the stress test, the non-stress test, and then they did an ultrasound with the doctor. The doctor did an ultrasound to see where the baby's laying, and unfortunately, I'll show you. I just took a shower, my hair is wet, so my sweatshirt is wet, but here's the belly. Basically, the baby, rather than going head down, has just kind of gone further and further up. And now the head is completely up and the legs are down. Like, everything is just kind of crazy. Doctor sent me straight away to the hospital because the concern is that if I'm starting labor and the baby's in such a bad position that my water would break, since I have more than the norm water, amniotic fluid, that it could be really dangerous for me and the baby. So I was sent right away to the hospital, met with 2 midwives and a doctor, and the doctor basically said, we need to make a plan for you to figure out what's going on, and that as it is right now, the baby will not come out if the baby stays the way it is. So long story short, and I'm skipping over a lot of the details of just like how fast it all was and how crazy of a day it was, and how, I mean, it was like we went from the gynecologist office who said go straight away to the hospital, basically go home, get your Clinic Tasha, your hospital bag, go to the hospital, be prepared to stay there, that kind of thing. And then I got to the hospital and had the whole shebang with them. And basically what my options are: doing a C-section, also doing something where they will use an ultrasound and doctors will attempt to literally turn the baby in the opposite direction. So right now he's head up. The goal is to try to turn him with the assistance of ultrasound and quite a bit of pain, it seems like. They'll try to flip the baby, basically, to get him in a position, and then they want to deliver him essentially right away. What it means is that they will induce and then he'll be born. It could also mean that during this process he goes into stress, or I go into stress, or it could be so painful that I just say no, stop, and then I need to have a C-section. But either way, I was told that he's coming this weekend, and I'm still trying to unload a little bit. My mother-in-law was supposed to go back to Stuttgart today. She was able to book a flight tomorrow so that she could stay here with me and just help me in whatever capacity I needed her. And I'm gonna cry. I don't know what I would have done without her, in all honesty, because she was a rock. And of course, she was just another set of ears to listen and ask questions and just be there as a support system for me. And I mean, she didn't have to stay. She's got a job and she's a busy person with her life, and I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful. And I'm at the same time kind of nervous because of all that's happening, all that's about to happen. I also feel, as weird as this may sound, I also feel a very strong sense of reassurance and peace, like this was supposed to happen. a few months ago, well, several months ago, I would say probably back in September, I had this just feeling sitting in the pit of my stomach that we were going to need support here before the baby was born and before I hit 40 weeks, before I hit 38 weeks. I knew that my mom wanted to be here to help as much as possible for after the baby was born. So even though my mom is coming while I'm 38 weeks, I mean, my mom will actually be here tomorrow, so that's great. But I just had in the pit of my stomach that this week, for some reason this week, I was going to need somebody here. Because of his position, it just complicates things, and it became very clear to me, like I just had this feeling in the pit of my stomach early on that we were just going to need some help. When I would go to these doctor's appointments, I was told that if he doesn't really change position and something like, I don't know, my water breaks, it's important to lay down, put your butt up in the air, try to do what you can do to keep as much fluid in so that it doesn't harm the baby. And I was always really nervous about that. I was always really scared about what would happen and what could happen. And to me, it was really scary to think about Roman traveling or even Roman being at work and I'm out running errands somewhere or driving a car or out with the kids, or all of a sudden my water breaks and here I am needing to find an ambulance, because that was the other thing. You have to get, you'd have to be taken by ambulance. I wouldn't be able to drive. No one would be able to drive me. I'd have to go by ambulance and get to the hospital, somehow get Roman where he needed to be my support, to somehow get the kids to a safe place with someone keeping them and watching them, and just all these different puzzle pieces were kind of stressing me out a little bit. So even though the procedure kind of makes me a little nervous, because I've never done anything like that before. And obviously I'm a bit nervous in general. I have a really strong sense of relief in knowing that if something goes wrong, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm at a fantastic hospital that is like the top NICU for babies, and if anything goes wrong, I'm in the most capable hands. And I also know that Roman will be with me. The kids will be with my mom. They'll be home with my mom. They're probably not going to go to kindergarten on Friday, just so that we don't have to worry about picking them up or anything, because this could take a while. I just have a real sense of peace in knowing that all those little things that I was kind of nervous about before, well, really nervous about before, have more or less been dealt with, because now there's actually some sort of a plan in place. And I do think things happen for a reason, and I know that this baby is super special. And even though he was a complete surprise, I'm really excited to meet him, and I can't wait to meet the little guy that's gonna make Linnea a big sister and make Callum a big brother again and make me a mom again for the third time. So I'm trying and I'm choosing to stay really positive. I'm choosing to stay incredibly positive. I'm trying to tell myself, well, I'm trying to change the way I talk about it and not say, if this works, but this will work. It will work. It will work. And believe it and put that out into the universe that this will work. And I mean, he's coming. He's coming. But the way it will work is Roman and I will show up and they will attempt the flip. I'm just gonna call it the flip. And when it all goes well, then they're going to induce me and I will have a wonderful, healthy, happy birth, and I will meet my little boy. In the event, just for information's sake, in the event that something goes wrong, I'll have a C-section, which I'm fine with. I've accepted that. And we just go from there. So Friday's gonna be a crazy day. Tomorrow my mom is coming. Tomorrow my mother-in-law is leaving. And we're gonna just transition into this new phase of this new little person coming into our family. Today was just a really exhausting and emotionally exhausting day because I got a lot of information, a lot of crazy news, a lot of doctors' opinions, a lot of midwives' opinions. Met with an anesthesiologist, an anesthesiology team. And just, I mean, today was all about making lots of fast decisions and just trying to get as much information in 10 minutes as possible and making a decision and making a plan, and just, it was a day. So Roman is home now, thank goodness. My mother-in-law's still here. So, I mean, we're gonna make this work. And tomorrow's gonna be a very relaxing day. I'm gonna spend most of it in bed. But I just wanted to update you guys and let you know what's going on. So, okay. Oh my gosh. We'll see you tomorrow.